We help contractors by the hundreds with all of the administrative burdens that surround handling their construction projects. That means helping them with Xactimate estimating, working with them on all the administration of their supplements, and doing the administrative services back office work that enables them to focus on selling, building, and billing.
We see contractors just starting off, maybe they're struggling with the fundamentals of running a construction business. They partner up with us, their process is now defined, they're able to grow their profit margins and actually scale because they're not held back with the burden of dealing with the supplementing process. I feel proud of what we've been able to do in this industry.
This is Larry Bache with the Northern Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Northern Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
was never on. I don't have any comments on here. Oh. Can you hear me now, guys? I thought my chat was on too. We good? We good now? We actually have sound? Of course, nobody here. We good? Fortunately, my comments aren't showing up on the screen here, guys. Okay, you can see me now. Okay, so I haven't had sound. I apologize. My comments aren't showing up on the screen. I think I never turned, no, I definitely turned them back on. They, for some reason, didn't update on the screen, so I wasn't able to see what you guys are saying. Heather thankfully jumped in and let me know that you couldn't hear me. So thankfully, we're going to kind of roll this all back and then kind of go over it again. So we have quite a bit of activity that was going on. Again, I apologize about that, guys. I apparently didn't turn on part of the mic. A little excited, had to jump in and get this going right away. So I'll just kind of reset for everybody. We had a couple different storms that we're looking at here. We had activity here in northeastern sections of Arkansas. This is heading towards the town of Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is going to be a little bit before it gets there. That's a tornado warning storm. Further to the north and to the east, we have by Poplar Bluff. That's what I was talking about when Heather popped in, or I guess you guys were trying to read my lips. We had a storm upwards of baseball-sized hail fell in the farther northern sections of town, and I was about to go into trying to see if we were able to see the potential for a tornado. This was a confirmed tornado warning, which means that someone confirmed a tornado in progress and not just the radar was indicating it. But we are kind of far away from the radar, so it's a little harder to see if we could actually see a tornado or not. And finally, we had Bowling Green, which, I mean, you didn't have sound for it, but it's okay. It turns out the storm was weakening. The storm had a history of dropping up to tennis ball size hail a little earlier in Greenville, Kentucky. It was looking pretty intense, some wind-driven hail with that as well. But as we are pulling in the northern green, not only is the storm moving north of the town, but it is also going to be weakening quite a bit. So likely under quarter size hail for the majority of Bowling Green, but strong winds are likely impact it with the hook of the storm that's going to move through. So there's a quick recap of everything you probably didn't hear. So we can jump right back into what we were looking at before. Hey, you know, it's the first live coverage I've done on the green screen since we updated a bunch of stuff. So mic not working, I guess that's classic Cal Trace way, am I right? So, all right, rolling this back a little bit here. So this is in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, southeastern Missouri. This was rolling back a little bit about 25 minutes ago. You can see higher reflectivity, so this is your reflectivity, and this is your correlation coefficient. So you know what this is what you see on the news, just showing how much precipitation's fallen, rain, snow, hail, whatever. And then on here, this is going to indicate if you're seeing a large objects in the sky, or in this case, hail. So hail is going to be anything in the oranges, the yellows, and the very large hail is going to be in the greens and the blues seen here. Now, obviously, there's going to be some discrepancies within the radar and all that good stuff. That's what we're here for. So we have in here a little bit earlier, so here's Poplar Bluff. You got the highway moving up, storms moving down towards the city, dropping up to baseball-sized hail. Again, northern sides of the city, anywhere north of US Highway 60. And then now, since we've talked and it's moved out of the city, and of course you didn't hear me for the beginning part, but has since moved out of the city. But again, northern sides of this town, on the far northern side, saw upwards of probably baseball-sized hail. It began to weaken as it moved through. I can step out of the way and you can see that lower CC right here. You can actually tell that we have quite a bit of hail falling on this area, and that continued to move off to the south and to the east, and that made it so you could, and then that kind of started to clear out a little bit as we had everything continue to move off to the east. So, storm is now beginning to weaken quite a bit. It's moving past where any city population is. In terms of the tornado, I we're too far up. So the radar, how radar works is it shoots out a beam of energy and it goes, and as the further you get from the radar, the higher up in the sky it picks up. So this, unfortunately, this town is getting picked up from radar at about 8,000 feet above the ground. That's quite a ways up. It's over a mile above the surface of the earth. So you're picking up, if there's a tornado, you're picking it way up in the sky. So you're gonna have a hard time seeing any kind of rotation because it might even be well beyond where the cloud levels are. And you might not be seeing any debris coming up. You see a good tornado, you get that nice little debris ball to show up. This doesn't seem to be the case. So this is gonna be a lot more spotter based. And we did see a funnel cloud, so hopefully there wasn't any big tornado on the ground. This was a confirmed tornado warning, which means somebody saw a tornado, but hopefully when it moved through Poplar Bluff, we didn't have anything like that. So, moving right along, we're gonna go check in with the Bowling Green area, and this one has quite a bit of rotation with it. So you're gonna get your winds right here. So right now, northern side of town, you can see where you got the wind going this way, wind going that, or I think it's all going this way, yeah. All going this way. We have pretty strong winds on the northern sides of Bowling Green. I think this was warned for up to 80-mile-per-hour winds, so I wouldn't be surprised we're seeing winds upwards of 70 miles per hour impacting northern sides of Bowling Green, Kentucky right now with north of State Highway 880. So again, this is what you want to look for with your big, dang it, that's not what I wanted. With your stronger winds, like this area right here in the hook, you got that rear flank downdraft. So you have this storm right here. You got your inflow going in. Nope, inflow going in, there we go. And then from there, you also have the winds coming back and around the storm to show that you actually have strong winds coming around the backside of this, and that's where you're going to be seeing those gusts upwards of 70 miles an hour. So, let's see where else can we look. Let's check back in with the overview here. Again, the storm moving through Bowling Green. I have, what do we have here? Yeah, it's warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds, $half size hail. The hail unfortunately missed the town to the north. I was thinking it was actually going to hit Bowling Green directly, but the storm began to weaken. As it began to weaken, so cutting due south towards it, it actually kind of went a little bit to the east, and unfortunately that made it so we didn't see too much hail in the town itself. Again, we had upwards of baseball-sized hail, north sides of Poplar Bluff, but since moved past that, unfortunately with these little country towns, we are not seeing anything else after that. And then, otherwise, we have a storm heading towards Mena, Arkansas. Look, that one doesn't look super impressive. We have some other storms trying to pop up here in southeastern Oklahoma. As far as Dallas-Fort Worth is concerned, this was a real outside chance of storms, and it's looking like as remaining an outside chance of storms. Nothing has formed yet, and if anything does form, it would have to be in the next hour or so, unless you want to see some storms very late tonight that would likely be well west of Dallas. So, I think otherwise, I might have just killed some storms here, guys. There isn't anything else heading towards the city. Looks like we had golf ball size hail near Bowling Green, and then died, of course, as it was moving into town. So I think I'm going to wrap this up. Again, I apologize I didn't have any sound at the beginning here. I guess after I finish this video, I need to see why the chat isn't showing up on the screen. But tune in later if we have any other live coverage. I promise you we'll have sound right away in any big storms that happen. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys later, and if not, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. See you later.